Halloween had always been a night filled with excitement and fright, but this year felt different. As the sun dipped below the horizon in Salem, Massachusetts, the streets buzzed with anticipation. Jack, an adventurous teenager with a knack for seeking thrills, gathered with his friends, Lisa and Mark, ready to make this Halloween unforgettable. "Are you guys ready for the best night of our lives?" Jack grinned, his eyes gleaming with mischief. The trio decided to explore an abandoned house rumored to be haunted. Legend had it that a tragic event occurred there on Halloween night decades ago, leading to whispers of ghostly apparitions. With flashlights in hand, they approached the dilapidated structure, its once vibrant paint now peeling and cracked. A chill ran down Lisa's spine. "Are we sure about this?" She hesitated, glancing at the dark windows. "What if the stories are true?" Jack waved her concerns aside. "It's just a story. We'll be fine." Mark, always the skeptic, shrugged. "I say we go for it. How often do we get a chance to explore something like this?" As they crossed the threshold, the wooden door creaked ominously. The air felt heavier inside, thick with dust and the remnants of forgotten memories. Shadows danced along the walls, and the faint sound of rustling echoed through the corridors. "Did you hear that?" Lisa whispered, her heart racing. "It's probably just the wind," Jack reassured her, trying to sound brave. They ventured deeper into the house, discovering old furniture draped in sheets and cobwebs hanging like ghostly veils. Suddenly, Mark stopped dead in his tracks. "Guys, look." He pointed towards a staircase leading to the attic. A faint light flickered at the top. Curiosity piqued. They decided to investigate. The stairs creaked beneath their weight, each step amplifying the tension in the air. As they reached the attic, they found a small lantern illuminating the space. The light seemed to pulse as if it had a life of its own. "This is weird," Lisa murmured, glancing around. Old photographs lined the walls, showing a family celebrating Halloween decades ago, their smiles hauntingly frozen in time. "Let's take a picture for Instagram," Jack suggested, holding up his phone. As they posed, a sudden gust of wind blew through the attic, extinguishing the lantern and plunging them into darkness. Panic surged through Lisa. "Let's get out of here," she exclaimed, stumbling backward. Before they could react, a chilling voice echoed around them. "You shouldn't be here." It sent shivers down their spines. Mark, now wide-eyed, gripped Jack's arm. "We need to leave. Now." They raced down the stairs, the weight of unseen eyes pressing upon them. The atmosphere thickened as they approached the front door, which inexplicably slammed shut. "What the hell?" Jack shouted, pounding on the door. "Open!" With every ounce of strength, they shoved against the door, finally bursting outside into the cool night air. They didn't stop running until they reached the safety of the streetlights. Gasping for breath, they glanced back at the house, which loomed ominously in the darkness. "What just happened?" Lisa whispered, still trembling. Mark shook his head. "I don't know, but we shouldn't have gone in there." Jack, trying to brush it off, said, "It's just a spooky house. We were just scared." But deep down, they all knew something was wrong. Later that night, they returned to Jack's house to regroup. They sat in the living room, the events of the evening replaying in their minds. Lisa pulled out her phone, eager to see the pictures they took. As she scrolled, her face drained of color. "Guys, look at this." She held up the screen, revealing the photo they had taken in the attic. In the background, a shadowy figure loomed behind them, its face indistinguishable yet unmistakably watching. "What the?" Jack gasped. "We need to delete this," Mark urged. But as they tried to remove the image, it wouldn't go away. "It's like it's stuck." Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the temperature in the room dropped. "This is getting creepy," Lisa said, hugging her knees. "What if that spirit followed us?" Jack scoffed, attempting to lighten the mood. "It's just a prank. Someone probably set it up." But as the night wore on, strange occurrences intensified. Doors creaked open, and whispered voices filled the air, sending chills down their spines. "We should have never gone to that house," Mark finally admitted. Fear etched on his face, determined to break the curse. They decided to return to the abandoned house the next day, hoping to confront whatever they had awakened. Armed with a digital recorder and their flashlights, they stepped back inside, hearts pounding in their chests. The atmosphere was eerily silent, and the flickering light from the lantern awaited them in the attic. As they ascended the stairs, Jack felt a cold breeze brushing against him, almost as if it were warning him to turn back. "Maybe we should call it quits," Lisa suggested, her voice barely above a whisper, but Jack pressed on. "No, we have to face this." As they reached the attic, they set the recorder on the dusty floor and asked questions, seeking answers. "Is someone here with us?" Mark called out. The room remained silent, but the air grew heavy. Suddenly, the recorder crackled, and a faint voice responded, "Leave, now." The friends exchanged terrified glances. "I think we should go," Lisa urged, fear evident in her eyes. They turned to leave, but the door slammed shut once more, trapping them inside. Panicking, they rushed to the window, desperate to escape. As they struggled to pry it open, the lantern flickered back to life, illuminating the shadowy figure they had seen in the photo. It moved closer, its presence suffocating. "Stop," Jack shouted. "We didn't mean to disturb you." The figure paused, its gaze piercing through the darkness. A wave of sadness washed over them. They realized this spirit was not malevolent but trapped, longing for release. In that moment, they understood. They had to help it find peace. "How can we help you?" Lisa asked, tears welling in her eyes. The spirit pointed towards an old trunk in the corner, covered in dust. With trembling hands, they opened it to find old belongings, letters, photos, and a diary filled with memories. Reading the diary, they discovered the tragic story of the family who once lived there, the joy of past Halloweens overshadowed by a terrible loss. They never got to say goodbye. Mark whispered, "We need to honor their memory." Determined, they held a small memorial right there in the attic, lighting candles and reading the letters aloud. As they shared the family's memories, the atmosphere shifted. The figure began to fade, a peaceful expression replacing its haunting gaze. With one last flicker of light, the spirit smiled and whispered, "Thank you," before vanishing completely. The air felt lighter, and the oppressive weight that had filled the room dissipated, exhausted yet relieved. The friends made their way back downstairs. As they stepped outside, they felt a sense of closure, knowing they had done the right thing. Halloween was still a night of frights, but they learned it could also be a night of healing. From that day forward, they promised to never disrespect the memories of the past. Halloween was no longer just a night for scares. It became a reminder of the importance of compassion and understanding, and every year after, they returned to the house, not to haunt its halls but to honor those who came before, ensuring that their spirits would never be forgotten.